Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The new owner of the Lakers is willing to put together a super team and bring the 18th title to delight the fans. Brand new deals will be made, but there may also be changes in the coaching staff, and one coach that interests the Lakers is Tom Thibodeau, a great coach who has the following virtues: an intense and defensively focused style of play, attention to detail and meticulous game planning. Will J.J. Redick be fired? At first no, the goal is to have an experienced coach like Tom Thibodeau, together with Redick, so that they can reap the rewards and win championships. The owner of the Lakers wants to hire coach Tom Thibodeau, formerly of the New York Knicks. J.J. Redick's first season as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers was respectable. The former Philadelphia 76ers guard helped the franchise win 50 regular season games and waltz into the postseason with confidence after elevating their play with Luka Doncic, who was acquired by the franchise in early February. However, Redick's questionable rotations, combined with the Lakers' ineffective frontcourt unit, resulted in a first-round playoff exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers have no intentions of firing Redick after one season. Still, Lake Show Life's Sviatoslav Revanchuk believes the organization should hire a 67-year-old former New York Knicks head coach as an assistant this summer to support Redick. After Mark Walter bought the majority ownership stake in the franchise, the Lakers suddenly have money to burn, Revanchuk wrote Saturday. They should use a portion of it on bringing in the perfect assistant coach for J.J. Redick. Lakers fans wish the NBA was more like MLB. There are far less restrictions regarding what a rich ownership group can do for an organization there. The second apron quickly settles this conversation down a decent bit. However, there are other ways in which this money can materialize for Los Angeles. Those key areas can be places like the front office and the coaching staff. Tom Thibodeau was let go from his head coaching position for the New York Knicks after the team lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. There are plenty of flaws to Thibodeau as a head coach. However, as an assistant, Redick would get some much-needed support from the veteran mind. The Knicks recently relieved Thibodeau of his duties after 5 seasons with the franchise. Following 4 disappointing campaigns under Thibodeau, the Knicks experienced a breakthrough this season, reaching the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Like Redick, though, Thibodeau's head-scratching lineups contributed to the Knicks' eventual postseason exit. The franchise fell to the Indiana Pacers in round number 3, and his offseason firing. However, considering the 2008 NBA champion is an experienced and defensive-minded coach who could help make Redick's transition from podcasting to leading an NBA team smoother, it wouldn't be a bad idea for the Lakers to consider bringing him on board as an assistant this summer. Los Angeles's number one priority should be adding a Luka Doncic lob threat, but hiring Thibodeau may not be too far behind. LA Lakers could bring back star who J.J. Redick lost faith in during the playoffs. Despite J.J. Redick icing one LA Lakers star during the playoffs, his return isn't being ruled out by one NBA insider. The Los Angeles Lakers have to find a new center this offseason. The lack of a proper rim-protecting center was evident for all to see in the NBA playoffs. After the Anthony Davis trade, Jackson Hayes became the Lakers' only reliable option at the center position. While he did a decent job during the regular season, his performances dipped in the playoffs. Hayes struggled for the Lakers at the center position against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Things got so bad that even Rudy Gobert, who isn't a strong offensive player, was able to dominate against him with ease. J.J. Redick would eventually bench Hayes in the playoffs. It's clear he lost faith in him, even though Austin Reeves defended Hayes and said it wasn't entirely his fault. All signs are pointing to Hayes, set to become an unrestricted free agent, not returning to the Lakers next season despite the bird rights. But one NBA insider says the door isn't shut on a potential return. NBA insider says Jackson Hayes can return to LA Lakers on cheap contract. John Hollinger of The Athletic did a piece on how NBA free agents will fare this year. When it comes to Jackson Hayes, Hollinger believes there is still a chance he returns to the LA Lakers. While he admits that the Lakers will look for more adept options, Hayes' Bird writes along with the lack of a potent market for second-string centers could lead to Hayes suiting up in purple and gold next season. The Lakers likely will try to do better here, and Hayes will likely try to find a place where he's more appreciated, but I'm not sure we should rule out a reunion. Between LA's early bird rights on Hayes and the limited money on the market for supplemental centers like him, these two may find that continuing their uncomfortable marriage remains better than the alternative. Jackson Hayes has shown he fits well with Luka Doncic. Without Anthony Davis available to plug the gap at the center spot, the Lakers relied on Jackson Hayes as their starting center after landing Luka Doncic. Doncic is excellent at elevating big men, and that's exactly what he did for Hayes. A look at Hayes' numbers from last season before and after Doncic's arrival show that he became a reliable player for the Lakers. While he isn't at the level to be a starting center in the NBA, especially on a championship team, he can do a serviceable job as a rotation piece off the bench. Hayes is upset over the Lakers' harsh treatment, feeling that his lack of minutes in the playoffs cost him money in free agency. But by signing a one-year minimum with the team, he gets a season to show that he can be a strong contributor as a bench option for a competitive team, thus earning himself a better contract next year. Lakers forward emerges as leading trade candidate. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to be active in the trade market this offseason. It's really the only way that they can help improve their roster because of how little cap space they have to sign free agents. Los Angeles needs a center. They need an upgrade from what they had in Jackson Hayes, and they have to figure out a way to get someone who can help fix their defensive issues. One Lakers player could end up being a contract that they use to help get a center or some other defensive upgrade in the frontcourt. That player is Maxi Kleber. Kleber was brought to LA during the Luka Doncic trade. He was the other player that the Lakers acquired in that deal. He didn't play a single regular season game for the Lakers this year. Kleber only played 5 minutes for the Lakers this year, and that was in Game 5 of the first round against the Timberwolves. He's clearly not someone they are planning a future around. In fact, Kleber is one of the leading candidates on the team for the Lakers to put in a trade. His contract could be attached to make the numbers work for a bigger player. Los Angeles has to figure out what they want to do at the center spot. Kleber is not the answer at that spot because of his injury history and how bad he is at defense. Kleber's expiring contract is something that is valuable to trade for the Lakers. LeBron James believes assistant coaches are vital to team success. The advantage of having someone like Los Angeles Lakers forward LeBron James on a team is that he operates both as a superstar and coach on the floor. James' basketball IQ is well regarded in the NBA as he's able to diagnose and dissect the floor instantaneously and make the right play. While James shut down any possibility of becoming a head coach, he certainly has the basketball acumen for it given his deep understanding of how every piece matters on a winning team. For example, James stressed the importance of assistant coaches during a recent Q&A on his Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash. I think the responsibility that a head coach has on the things that he has to prepare for and the things that he has to get the guys ready to play, it's so much already. For the assistant coaches to be able to take some of the burden off the head coach either with helping with substitution patterns, helping with all the personalities in the locker room. A head coach shouldn't have to deal with that all time. And now I understand, like I've been fortunate in my career to have head coaches that had an open door policy. If you had a problem, come and talk to me. But on a day-to-day basis, a head coach shouldn't have to be facilitating that all the time because there's ups and downs and things. Guys have their emotions throughout the course of a season, and if you have great assistant, they can tune that down. They can help with that, facilitate that. And also the small things that happen when guys get to the arena earlier or guys get to practice facilities earlier. Being able to have an assistant coach come out there and work with you, watch film with you, get on the court with you, things of that nature. And just conversate throughout the rest of that day, throughout the rest of the games, on the road, whatever the case may be. I think assistant coaches are very vital to team success. James added that head coaches are only as good as their assistants and that they contribute to team success in an impactful way. I think a head coach is great, but I think a head coach is great as they can be is only as great as their assistants. I think their assistant coaches really help with micromanaging things. Head coaches are so locked in. You guys are standing up throughout the whole game pretty much, and you guys are trying to watch everything that's going on. Is that guy in a rhythm? Is that guy not in a rhythm? Or maybe even missed that. I'm so locked in on, okay, we didn't blitz this guy the right way. To have the assistants to be able to sometimes just lock the head coach back in. Not saying you wasn't locked in, it's just maybe I was just focused on this. We didn't get a great shot the last 3 or 4 possessions. I wasn't thinking about this guy right here, I haven't put him in 4 or 5 minutes. Having assistants being able to micromanage a lot of things and bring things to the forefront of y'all's mind. While you guys are focused on so much, I think when you have great assistants it matters a lot. Assistant coaches largely are unheralded for their work behind the scenes, but there's no doubt they play a key role in winning. James has been fortunate to work with great assistants over the years, so it's easy to see why he reveres them so much. Lakers forced into high-stakes summer after Kevin Durant trade to Rockets. Kevin Durant is the newest member of the Houston Rockets. The landscape in the Western Conference has officially shifted. Kevin Durant is on his way to Texas after Shams Charania broke the news of the Phoenix Suns and Houston Rockets finally agreeing to a trade for the future Hall of Fame superstar. Charania announced, the Phoenix Suns are trading 2-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the number 10 pick in the 2025 draft and 5 second-round picks, sources tell ESPN. The Rockets did pretty well for themselves in this deal with regard to retaining value. Sacrificing the 10th overall pick was a necessity and a foregone conclusion to most. Only surrendering Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks in the player portion of the trade was masterful. Houston can now enter next season with a starting lineup of Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun. That, coupled with some quality bench pieces, has created another imposing threat in the way of the Los Angeles Lakers to Western Conference supremacy in 2025-26. New challenger heightens need for Rob Pelinka to deliver this offseason. The Lakers already had plenty of reasons as to why this offseason would be a crucial one for the franchise. Having another team near their hierarchical positioning get substantially better only furthers the need to do everything possible to surround Luka Doncic with a contender this summer. Doncic and LeBron James will need to be given the tools to compete in the Western Conference. Rob Pelinka cannot be afforded many wasted motions. One could look at the Rockets and think the Lakers still have a better path to playoff success with their superstar duo. However, the NBA Finals matchup this season has proven the value of having a well-built and filled-out roster. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers both had those components. Now, the Rockets are well on their way to that club as well. The Lakers have proven the opposite. Of the many reasons that one can highlight for their first-round exit against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the lack of solid fundamental roster structure around Doncic and James was evidently a main orchestrator of their demise. It is not difficult to look at this Lakers team and identify which areas need to be bolstered. Magic Johnson was more than capable of pointing out the core upgrades necessary. The execution of the process will be the matter that gets Pelinka put under a microscope during this offseason. Markieff Morris, Lakers only need minor tweaks to be contenders. There seem to be two schools of thought when it comes to what the Los Angeles Lakers need to do this summer in order to become legitimate championship contenders next season. Some say the team needs to make big, sweeping changes, which could include trading budding star guard Austin Reeves, whom it has been very reluctant to include in trade discussions over the last year or two. But there are others who argue that the Lakers are simply a couple of moderate but non-major pieces away, a starting-level center and a two-way wing, to be exact. Lakers big man Markieff Morris, who played on their last championship team in 2020 and returned in February's Luka Doncic trade, is in the latter category. While on ESPN's Get Up, he said that only minor tweaks are needed to make the team elite again. I think ultimately, Luka does re-sign. Now, is it 4 years? Is it 2 years? But, ultimately, I think he will be there. What I think they need to make happen to the roster, I think it's minor tweaks. You're in a position where LeBron James has maybe 2 years left and he's trying to win right now, so I don't think bringing in a ton of new pieces and revamping the team makes a lot of sense. I think where they were this year, we were really close to winning, so it's just minor tweaks. You may get a big in there, but I don't think you move core pieces to get a big and mess the team up. When in reality, you only really need one big for the big fella in Joker, Nikola Jokic, to be able to get to the finals. So I don't think you want to put too much into that. I think you come back with the same core pieces and you just add maybe a big and you keep growing your team through working them out and trying to figure out what's the next steps. There is certainly an argument to be made for maintaining some real continuity with this roster. Reeves and James have played together for 4 seasons, and forward Rui Hachimura has been with them for 2.5 seasons. Doncic and forward Dorian Finney-Smith spent 4.5 seasons together as members of the Dallas Mavericks. But in sports, as in life, sometimes established bonds and habits, no matter how healthy and beneficial they may be, have to be given up in order to get to the next level. With James now in his 40s and no assurances on whether Doncic will be with them for the long term, the Lakers will need to be bold this offseason and strike while the iron is hot. That could mean giving their roster a facelift or performing major reconstructive surgery. Which NBA teams have won the most championships? The Boston Celtics have won more championships than any other NBA team, with a record 18 titles. In 2024, the Boston Celtics won their 18th NBA championship, breaking their long-standing tie with the Los Angeles Lakers for the most in league history. With the 2025 NBA Finals, Oklahoma City could take home their first title as the Thunder. The Indiana Pacers can also win their first franchise title. Check out NBA franchises with the most championships below. 18. Boston Celtics, 1957, 1959, 1960, 1961, 1962, 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, 1968, 1969, 1974, 1976, 1981, 1984, 1986, 2008, 2024. 17. Los Angeles Lakers, 1949, 1950, 1952, 1953, 1954, 1972, 1980, 1982, 1985, 1987, 1988, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, 2010, 2020. 7. Golden State Warriors, 1947, 1956, 1975, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2022. 6. Chicago Bulls, 1991, 1992, 1993, 1996, 1997, 1998. 5. San Antonio Spurs, 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2014. 3. Miami Heat, 2006, 2012, 2013, Detroit Pistons, 1989, 1990, 2004, and Philadelphia 76ers, 1955, 1967, 1983. 2. Milwaukee Bucks, 1971, 2021, Houston Rockets, 1994, 1995, and New York Knicks, 1970, 1973. 1. Denver Nuggets, 2023, Toronto Raptors, 2019, Cleveland Cavaliers, 2016, Dallas Mavericks, 2011, Oklahoma City Thunder, as the Seattle Supersonics, 1979, Washington Wizards, as the Washington Bullets, 1978, Portland Trail Blazers, 1977, Atlanta Hawks, as the St. Louis Hawks, 1958, Sacramento Kings, as the Rochester Royals, 1951, and Baltimore Bullets, 1948.